You recall just about a year ago when we spoke, there was this whole hype around RegTech. People thought it would be a silo, people thought it would be a new initiative, and it turned out a false alarm. It wasn't a new initiative. All RegTech did was empower the data utilization. So what does that mean? Alan has opted in for HSBC's account. HSBC reaches out to you through a new app and says, Alan, we now have an ecosystem which includes from the time that you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, I look in the mirror and I can tell you, hey, you know, there could be an insurance for your gums. It's just so seamless. So RegTech has freed up this data as long as you, the citizen, opts in. That was the first thing that they did. What else has changed is regulators now, instead of inhibitors, are investors. Now, we've all heard about how MAS or Monetary Authority has 250 million war chest, and they're helping, incubating, launching. The world's biggest fintech took place here. Hong Kong is beating that. Hong Kong is saying, I've opened up an entire Cyberport, and there's fund managers, incubators, venture capitalists, a place, come, practice, flourish. So regulators who were inhibitors now are enablers. So not only have they changed, but they've unlocked, and they're actually educating people too. They are strict, they do monitor, but RegTech is an enabler now, and that is for sure. GDPR, PDPA, PCI DSS compliance part 3. Unfortunately, what happens is every time even the minutest regulation comes out, banks spend anything from 50 million, depending on the size, to $1 billion to provision it. Now that is the ridiculous part. And as you can imagine, governance, risk and compliance has no ROE. So if you're an American, you have to adhere to FATCA. Citibank actually went to the extent where there were just 1 or 2 Americans. They went to the customers and saying, we love you, but we have to close your account. They didn't want to trigger a whole new regulation around FATCA just for 2 or 3 customers. That's how cumbersome it is. So every time any minute change, so Basel III has a version update around, say, data privacy, which comes from GDPR and PDPA. To factor that into the reporting, it'll be hundreds of millions of dollars gone. So regulation is unnecessary, I think, but it also protects. So it's a double-edged sword. It costs a lot, but it gives citizens and customers a basket of protection around it. What has not happened, and I don't know why is there no collaboration? Why isn't there a committee? Why is it that I am the regulator, you're the banker, thou shalt listen to me? Who empowered them? I mean, do they know as much as a bank? So if the regulators are only just learning about AI, if the regulators are only just learning about bots and cognitive, how are they going to govern us? So why isn't there a dialogue? Why isn't there a bankers association that goes and actually dialogues with the institution saying, you've come up with this new bot related regulation, which is still a flotation paper. Mr. Regulator, this is going to inhibit A, B, and C, but sure, it helps X, Y, and Z. That dialogue, I think, will bring regulations ultimately to protect us, and we always want that protection, but it doesn't inhibit, it doesn't stop, it doesn't stall innovation. Right now, it's not really there. The innovation that I see coming out is this highest denomination, an enterprise-wide RegTech. Instead of being reactive, they now have people constantly sussing out what the regulators are working on. For example, there's open dialogue and they come and solicit papers. HKMA called for it, MAS called for it, the 2 leaders called for it. That goes and gets interpreted into enterprise-wide governance, risk and compliance framework, which is highly automated. They're going to the banks and saying, how would you like this report? And everybody standardizes. How would you like to assess my operational risk? everybody's standard. So this institutionalizing of enterprise-wide governance risk compliance, I think is at least helping the bank not panic, run, and comply within 6 months or whatever it is. So that's what I think is going to be a predictive change in the very near future. Everybody will elevate themselves to an enterprise-wide risk level.